More than 3 days after the polls closed, the Secretary of State announced that the razor-thin races will be reviewed in a series of recounts. And the death rates rise as fire crews continue to fight out-of-control wildfires burning on both ends of California. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 11.
Hello, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Taylor Torgano. Protesters from across the political spectrum rallied all over Florida Saturday to demand that all ballots be counted in the state's races. This was the scene today in Jacksonville. Protests were scheduled outside all County Supervisor of Elections offices statewide. The rallies come as Florida's Secretary of State announces that 3 statewide races will be reviewed via machine recount. Those races are for governor, U.S. Senator, and state agriculture commissioner. The margins in all 3 contests are under 0.5%, triggering the machine recount. In Florida, it's deja vu all over again. Our Secretary of State ordering that recount in those races that are still too close to call. ABC's Victor Oquendo here in Florida with the latest.
There will be no answer until at least Thursday, possibly much longer, for who will represent Florida in Washington and in the governor's mansion. State law requiring a machine recount when the leading candidate's margin is half a percentage point or less. By Saturday afternoon, in the governor's race, GOP candidate Ron DeSantis held a slight lead against his Democratic rival Andrew Gillum of about 33,000 votes, falling under the half-point threshold. For U.S. Senate, it's even closer. Republican Governor Rick Scott ahead of Democrat Senator Bill Nelson by 0.15 percentage points, about 12,000 votes out of more than 8 million ballots cast. Anger from those on both sides of the political divide pouring out onto the streets with accusations of voter fraud, voter suppression, and abuse of power. Gillum had conceded to DeSantis on election night, but with the results narrowing, a reversal.
I am replacing my words of concession with an uncompromised and unapologetic call that we count every single vote.
And in that contentious battle for Senate, Scott claims Nelson is trying to steal the election.
The suspicious minds would wonder why it's always Florida, Broward, where this stuff happens.
While Nelson accuses Scott of attempting to stop officials from counting every ballot.
They got votes that's never been counted. That's the problem.
And simply put, that's all you guys want.
That's all. Just count the vote.
President Trump, without proof, tweeting from overseas, trying to steal 2 big elections in Florida. We are watching closely. Victor Oquendo, ABC News, Miami.
Now, after the machine recount, should the margins remain at 0.25% or less, next up, a hand recount, likely completed by November 18th. Democrat Nikki Fried is declaring victory today in the Florida Agriculture Commissioner race as the latest vote count shows her leading Republican Matt Caldwell by more than 5,000 votes. As of today, there was a difference of 5,326 votes over Caldwell. Fried released a statement saying she is, quote, humbled and honored to serve as Florida's next Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services. A Sarasota police officer is on administrative leave with pay tonight after being arrested in Pinellas County. SPD says Officer Derek Gilbert was arrested and charged with battery, trespassing, and domestic battery after an incident at the St. Petersburg Clearwater Airport. Police say it happened at about 6:30 last night. As soon as Officer Gilbert is released from the Pinellas County Jail, Chief DePino has ordered him to be on administrative leave with pay. This incident is being investigated by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. An internal affairs investigation has also been launched. Florida Highway Patrol troopers are searching for a driver that crashed into another vehicle, killing a Port Charlotte man. According to FHP, a driver violated the right-of-way of Michael Shea, which cost him his life. The accident occurred yesterday around 6 p.m. Troopers say Shea entered the intersection of US 41 and Jacaranda Boulevard with the green light. Another vehicle failed to yield, striking the left side of his car. He became separated from his vehicle and was pronounced dead on scene. The driver fled on foot, and FHP is still looking for him or her. If anyone has any information regarding this crash, please contact the Florida Highway Patrol at 239-938-1800. Troopers say the driver was operating a 2017 Nissan Sentra. A ride malfunction at the Jacksonville Agricultural Fair today left several people hurt. The incident happened on this ride called the Sky Flyer. Officials say about 20 people were on the ride when it malfunctioned. Jacksonville Fire Rescue says 7 people were taken to the hospital for treatment, but all injuries appeared to be minor. A witness who was in line to ride the Sky Flyer describes what he saw and heard.
And out of nowhere, we started hitting like stuff like metals, like bangs, and it was like bang, 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 bang. We were like, what's that? And we just saw all the kids hitting the gate, like they were constantly hitting the gate. And, like they were screaming and crying. Our parents were running up there trying to stop the machine, and then the guy who was running the machine, he was like, oh my God, oh my God. He was like trying to stop it, like pressing the button, and the lady, she was yelling at him like, turn it off, like turn the machine off, but he couldn't do it.
A fair official says incidents like these are very rare. An investigation is ongoing as to what caused the malfunction. Now let's go to Wendy Ross for a first check on our first alert weather. Hi, Wendy.
Hello, Taylor. We had a cold front that came through today. You probably didn't even notice it. It's already down to our south right now, and the only real indication that we had the cold front is the wind shifted around and they're now coming in out of the north, and that's going to help to usher in some drier air, and we're going to get the benefits of that tomorrow. So right now we still have some cloudy skies that are just lined up across the central part of the state with a few showers down around the Miami area, but that's really about it. Things are nice and quiet for us right now. We've got mostly clear skies across our region with those showers that we did have around the Charlotte County area earlier having moved down to the south along with the cold front. So at this hour things are quiet, and they are going to be throughout the rest of the night. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow as this frontal system will help to bring in some drier conditions, and temperatures won't be nearly as hot as they were today. So our future radar showing that the winds are going to help to push everything out into the Gulf of Mexico, and now we're mostly seeing those winds out of the northeast throughout the nighttime hours. That's what we're going to be getting. And right now temperatures are in the mid 70s and low 70s, and we're also seeing partly cloudy to some cloudiness around parts of the area. So 74 degrees at the airport, high humidity, those winds out of the northeast right now, and again that wind is going to help to bring in some drier conditions for us. And this is what it's going to look at like for the rest of tonight. We've got temperatures down into the upper 60s, and we've got some clouds, and then we're going to see fair skies. So a combination of that. We start off the morning very nicely with partly cloudy skies and drier conditions. Taylor?
Thank you, Wendy. Deadly fires are burning in both the northern and southern parts of California. At least 23 people have died in the Camp Fire to the north, and further south, the Woolsey Fire engulfing 70,000 acres that includes Malibu. Paradise, California is a small town about 90 miles north of Sacramento. ABC's Will Carr is there with the latest.
At least 27,000 residents under mandatory evacuation as the Camp Fire in Northern California has charred more than 100,000 acres. Some residents forced to get to safety by driving through flames.
Oh my God, the tree's burning right next to us.
The fire, now the most destructive in California's history. More than 6,700 homes and businesses destroyed.
Thousands of residents are being kept out of this area because it is still a volatile situation. You have power poles and power lines dangling over streets. It is quite treacherous to navigate this area.
The town of Paradise reduced to ashes, cars incinerated, animals helplessly roaming the streets. A highway patrolman who lost his home in the fire helping this dog found burned and confused. Rescuers trying to help as many animals as they can.
As fast as this fire hit, there was no time for people to get their animals out.
Further south, the Woolsey Fire now covering more than 70,000 acres.
Last night was a tough night. As the fire jumped the 101 and ran into Malibu, it was quite a fight. Your firefighters made heroic efforts in saving lives and protecting property.
A quarter of a million people ordered to evacuate, but as the fire surrounded Pepperdine University, students there told to shelter in place.
And there's a lot of people working to really help us and keep the fires away from our campus and keep us safe.
Many residents lost their homes, but this man lucky. His home still standing, but he's heartbroken for his neighbors.
This is our neighborhood. This is not the way we remember it. It's not the way my little boys are going to remember it when we bring them back here.
In Paradise, California, Will Carr, ABC News.
Lido Beach is in dire need of sand, especially near the pool and pavilion. But this weekend, the beach is getting a little bit of relief. Crews are getting ready to take 185,000 cubic yards of sand from New Pass to renourish Lido, its shoreline, and also protect the pavilion, restrooms, and the swimming pool. The city of Sarasota, Sarasota County, and FEMA are splitting the cost of the $3.9 million project. Some lifelong Lido visitors say it's hard to believe this is the same beach they visited decades ago.
It's sort of startling to see how small it actually has gotten, and to see the big banks and things that are just eroded out. I don't know how long it'll be till it's like hitting the hotels and things in the area, because it really seems to be eroding fast.
The city of Sarasota is working with the Army Corps of Engineers to take sand from Big Pass and recycle that sand as needed over the next 50 years. That project is expected to start next fall, pending any legal challenges. Well, it's that time again. The 2018 Siesta Key Crystal Classic is underway. And take a look, the sculptors are so talented. The annual event kicked off for its 9th year yesterday, featuring 24 master sand sculptors from all over the world. They have just 24 hours to sculpt those masterpieces, spanning over the 4-day event at Siesta Beach. Some of the pieces the sculptors create are over 10 feet tall. Our very own ABC7's Bob Harrigan is announcing the winners tomorrow at 3. He interviewed one of the sculptors yesterday who chose to illustrate endangered species, saying one day we may only be able to see the elephant she sculpted in a digital form.
I just wanted to raise a bit of awareness with my piece.
How long have you been doing this?
About 7 years now.
7 years, and you're from England, obviously.
Yes.
And you tell me you've been many different places doing sand sculpting.
Yeah, all over the world. We travel anywhere.
Do you ever think you would do that? I mean,
this visual and cultural arts festival has hosted over 260,000 attendees. And it's more than just sand. The festival also features live music throughout the event, along with a large village of shopping and food and drinks. Still to come here on ABC7, employees at a Vermont wood shop have quite the story to share. Nature came calling and it was all caught on video. Stay with us.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
A home can be much more than just a house. But for some of our neighbors, home means uncertainty and isolation. At Rebuilding Together, we turn houses into homes and revitalize our communities. Because a neighborhood is more than just houses and streets. It's familiar faces and open arms. Join the movement to ensure everyone can live in a safe home and community. Become a rebuilder today.
Introducing the ABC7 First Alert Weather Tracker. This all-new mobile weather lab is just one more way. The team you trust is keeping you ahead of the storms. The ABC7 First Alert Weather Tracker, sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash.
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
What could be treasure?
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.
More than 1,500 community members woke up early this morning to participate in the Suncoast Heart Walk. The free, family-friendly event was held at J.D. Hamill Park. It's a walk for people from all walks of life to stand up to heart disease and stroke or honor a loved one who has been affected by cardiovascular disease. The 2018 Suncoast Heart Walk has raised more than $165,000 to go towards life-changing science, community programs, health education, and advocacy efforts.
It keeps you going. You have to stay healthy no matter what. Many heart problems that you have. It's just, bring people united, and it just keeps you going.
The event was a 5K with a 1-mile option for those who preferred a shorter route, and our very own ABC 7 News anchor Scott Dennis was there to MC with radio host Lulu from 92.1. Millions of Americans take fish oil and vitamin D because of claims that these supplements may reduce the risk of heart disease and cancer. But new research is suggesting otherwise. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Steve Nyssen did not conduct this study, but says the results show no benefit.
We got a very good, very big study that says neither vitamin D nor fish oil reduce the risk of cancer or heart disease. The good news is both the fish oil and the vitamin D were safe. There was no harm, but there was also no benefit. And so, our advice to people would be not to routinely take either unless there's a very good other reason to take these supplements.
The study was funded by the National Institutes of Health. 5 people were injured in New York when a manhole exploded. It happened at about 7:30 p.m. in the Bronx. Concerned people started calling 911 when they saw smoke rising out of several manholes. 2 responding police officers were helping a woman whose car was parked above one of the smoking manholes when it exploded. They are among the 5 people injured. Witnesses say the boom was so loud it shook the ground.
Like a boom, just like a boom.
Describe it. How loud was it? What did it?
Well, my apartment is so close, and the bomb is like shaking, that was hard.
All 5 victims suffered only minor injuries in the blast. Utility workers are still investigating what caused this explosion. And take a look at this. What begins as a typical day in this woodworking shop in Morrisville, Vermont, unexpectedly turns wild. Paul Green finds himself face to face with the dough.
My first thought was I need to get out of here. I don't want to get run into by a wild deer. So I walked over towards the door, ran out the door actually.
When he runs out, the deer crashes through this shop window, and moments later a fawn runs in. Oh. Meanwhile, the mama deer had been working out in the exercise room, scratching walls and the television before jumping out a second window.
Oh, you just wanted to say, just turn around, turn around. You came in that way, go out that way.
Would you be scared? I think I would be like, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, they're big, big, and you don't want to get near them. They can really hurt you if you're not careful. So he did the right thing to get out of her way, and especially if you've got a fawn. Now you got baby. Oh, you don't want to mess with mom.
Don't mess with mom.
Don't mess with mama. So we had a cold front come through today, and that cold front has now worked its way down to our south, and on Tuesday, we've got another cold front coming in. That one is the one you're going to notice. We really didn't notice this one too much today, but we are going to get some cooler weather and some drier conditions for tomorrow and also on Wednesday. That's going to be our big cool down with the next cold front that comes on in. So we've got the winds that are now coming in out of the northeast, 8 to 10 miles per hour. They're not very gusty, but we are helping to bring in some drier air with these northerly winds because that cold front, as I say, is all the way down. And it's not very well defined. You can see it right here, and it's now across parts of Miami. but it kind of lost a little bit of steam as it was moving on by. And you can see some of the cloudy weather and some of the showers that are located offshore moving away from shore, and the showers that are along the east coast are not expected to come over here tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. On Sunday, it's going to be drier, it's going to be cooler. We're going to see plenty of sunshine around, and right now we're starting to see that, at least the effects of it. We've had a little bit of cloud cover still sitting on top of us for this evening, and then we've got a couple of showers down around the Naples area. We did have some rain earlier tonight over the southern sections of Sarasota County, parts of Charlotte County, but all of that has now come to an end, and we're just looking at a couple of showers located out in the Gulf of Mexico, and they're continuing to move away. And we now have partly cloudy skies to some cloudiness still taking place in some locations, but by tomorrow it's all going to be dried out. The other thing that you're going to notice is that the dew points over the northern part of the state are nice and low, 30s and 40s. So this cold front did make an impact across the northern part of the state, but it hasn't quite drawn down into central Florida. So we are still looking at dew points in the 70s from here all the way down to Key West. And if you walk outside, it's kind of sticky out there still. But by tomorrow, that drier air once again is going to get it all the way down and all the way through here. Temperatures right now mostly in the low to mid 70s everywhere, and we're going to see them dropping down into the upper 60s tonight. So a little bit of a different experience than what we had last night. Last night we got down to 71 for the overnight low. 87 was our daytime high today, so it was a hot day today. Normally we're 61 and 80 degrees, and tomorrow we're going to be around 82, 83 degrees for the daytime high. So tomorrow we start to get back to more of a normal kind of a feel for this time of the year. But the overnight time period shows us getting down to about 68 before things start to warm up throughout the morning hours tomorrow. Can you believe it? It's the tropics. As you know, we don't see an end to it until the end of this month. And there is an area of disturbed weather that's out here that just developed. We're going to be keeping our eyes on it. There's maybe a 40% chance of it to develop, but as it moves towards the west, it's running into some shear, so nothing's going to happen until maybe Tuesday. So we'll be paying attention so that you don't have to worry about it yourselves. For boaters, winds will be out of the northeast at 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, and we are going to be seeing plenty of sunshine at the beach tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be right up there around the low 80s, and then keep in mind on Tuesday we've got the next cold front coming through. That means things are really going to cool down on Wednesday, and we are looking at a high of only 71 degrees with our lows down into the mid-50s. Don't put away those blankets yet. Taylor?
Thank you, Wendy. Mote Marine Laboratory is working to restore 70,000 coral seeds across 130 acres of depleted Florida reefs. It will happen over 3 years, prioritizing coral genetic varieties resilient to disease and climate change impacts. The restoration is thanks to a grant of nearly $1.5 million from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, NOAA, and partners. The grant challenges Mote and its supporters to raise matching funds and achieve the greatest possible impact for the Florida Reef Tract and for those who depend on it. More to come here on ABC 7. We'll tell you what famous supermodel made an appearance here on the Suncoast. Stay with us.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Addiction is a dark place, but just as each new day breaks, there is light. A light that illuminates the people by your side. Out of the darkness, you are walking with 22 million others struggling with addiction. The cure to darkness is light. The cure to stigma is love. And the cure to disease is treatment. Join us as we walk into the dawn of the new day. Together, we are stronger than addiction. Learn more at chatterproof.org.
My mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now before it's too late.
Make us swim! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
The Magic 8 Ball has been inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame. The psychic future-telling device is joined by the card game Uno and the precursor to modern video games, pinball. The new inductees represent the voice of the people. This was the first year fans got to vote on their favorite toys. Formidable competitors to the trio included Masters of the Universe, Chutes and Ladders, American Girl dolls, even Chalk. The National Toy Hall of Fame is at the Strong Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. One of the most famous supermodels in the world paid a visit to the Suncoast this weekend. Christy Brinkley came to Sarasota on behalf of the 40 Carats Family Center. The former cover girl had fun with some of the participants of the Wine, Women, and Shoes fundraiser at Ritz-Carlton. The event raised $250,000 in just one day. Brinkley refused all interviews, but as you can see, she wasn't shy with some of the Suncoast women she met while in the area.
She's just amazing. I just look at her and go, oh, wow. Isn't that good? Talk about just being still in time. She just looks marvelous.
Yeah, she does.
Tomorrow's going to be a marvelous day, too. It's going to be beautiful and dry and cooler.
The best news. The best news. Yeah. Thank you for joining us tonight.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veteran Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.